I've decided mountains suck. I miss the scent of the sea. All this stone is so earthy. Tastes like dust and cold here. Stupid ogres. Stupid cats and their stupid big teeth. The next time I see a mountain, I'm flying over it. And I'm eating the next cat I meet. The hunt begins again on Short Quest, Long Rest.
Getting back on the road the following day, you gradually find yourselves approaching in the weird twilight hours of this perpetual night the walls of the town of Bryn Shander. It is the southernmost and largest of the 10 towns, and those walls loom over you as you approach. This fortified trading post is the gateway to Icewind Dale and stands alone atop a desolate, windswept hill. The guards atop the wall lean out and gaze at you, but you can barely make out their expressions underneath their masks and those fur-lined caps that they seem to be wearing. They open the gates and wave you in nonetheless. I will remind you that here in 10 towns, you only technically have one package left to deliver with an address. It is the iron lockbox, containing some sort of draconic artifact from that tiefling wizard you met, Mephit the Crimson, the kind of dorky one. The label on the parcel says it is for someone named Ragamel the Renegade, and Mephit's note says to ask for him with Ogden, the innkeeper of Kelvin's Comfort. As you enter the southwestern gate, you find yourself on a street that appears to be moderately busy, people still going about their lives despite the strange twilight that they live in. A lot of very strange looks thrown your way, kind of suspicion of strangers, that eases somewhat at the sight of Tivini. Seems that she is a familiar face within Bryn Shander, or at least comparatively to your own. You can hear the whickering of horses in the stables immediately to your left, and see the long stretch of road leading northeast towards the town center. Alaska, what are you guys doing first?
You said we're getting in pretty late, right?
For you, it's about late afternoon. The sky is starting to darken again, but it's been in a kind of weird twilight all throughout the day.
Krellick's gonna ask around where this place, this lockbox he's carrying belongs to. He's tired of carrying it.
We're sure we don't want to open it. Last chance.
I'm sure. Just get where it goes.
So, approaching one of the guards who had helped to ease open the gate to allow your passage, appears to be a very skinny, tall young man with unfortunate blemishes across his cheeks. His nose is bright red in the cold, almost as red as his hair. These curls that hang out under his fur cap. His very prominent Adam's apple pokes out over the fur of his collar as he looks down at you. Yeah? Something I can do for you, sir.
Hey, we're looking for the moneylenders.
Money changers.
Money lenders. Money lenders.
Yes, work on it.
And he kind of narrows his eyes in a very thinking expression and turns very bright blue eyes northward. I think you might want to try Town Hall. Yes. And he
Town hall,
nods.
that's where they are, or that's where we should ask?
That's where I would ask. I
Okay.
don't... And he kind of motions to the gatehouse very awkwardly. Seems to be a very young guy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't leave the gate often?
Oh, yeah, I have stood this watch for a year now.
A whole year.
And you hear one of the older guys, kind of dark-haired, clean-shaven, but with a 5 o'clock shadow growing across either cheek, kind of... A year is putting it generously.
Mm-hmm.
Spent the year cleaning chamber pots in the barracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I lean in a little bit and be like, don't sweat it. I was like, I was a guard for a while myself. I know what it's like getting the hazing right off the bat.
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
But I will give you a piece of advice. Learn your town. Know exactly where it's at. It's like people like to give tips to people that give them the information that they need. He kind of gives them a wink. Not like not trying to be shitty, but like a legit tip.
Thanks. And the kind of older man leans out. You can see he's up there on the ramparts, a bit above you. He's been kind of following the conversation, and he spits off to one side. You kind of watch it travel through the air. And Dreamer, you are close enough that you can almost see that it's frozen by the time it hits the ground. And instead of splattering, kind of scatters in small pieces across the cobblestones. You're wasting your time with that one. He's one of those, inbreds from Dugan's Hole. And the boy kind of goes, red in the cheeks.
Inbred?
You, shut up there.
What does that mean?
Roll me persuasion.
Alright. Yuck.
It's not terrible.
Not terrible, not
10.
great.
Yeah, this kid kind of rubs his neck and isn't quite willing to meet your eyes, it seems. Don't, if you're obviously new to 10 towns, don't worry about it. He's just full of piss and bad air.
Well.
Anyway, no, town hall, and thank you for the, advice.
Some more advice. And he lowers his voice then. When he's not looking, maybe fill his tankard up with piss. Just a suggestion.
This kid gets a very mischievous look, and you can see he's probably, if he is a day older than 17, you'd be surprised. But he, kind of ducks his shoulders a little and glances up at the ramparts and then back at you. I can't say whether I would or I wouldn't.
He just taps his nose.
Like, hazing won't stop until you teach him that it won't affect you anymore, so have some fun with that.
Need to be knocked down a few notches every now and
Alright,
then.
boys, I'm getting tired of carrying this, and Krillik's just gonna walk towards the center.
Okay, well, the dwarf is tired of talking, so...
Town hall, you want to head, and he motions you up the street, and then points to a building on the right. You want to turn there, head right, and about 4 buildings down, you'll see it's the biggest building in this sort of western district.
Alright, that's where I'll go.
I think he's kind of jogging to catch up. How do you walk so fast with those legs?
Yeah, it's talent or something, I don't know.
That's fucking something. I don't know. Felgren's in a good mood. He's happy to be in civilization.
Alrighty. So you, travel. It only takes you a few minutes to find... Let me add it on here.
New text.
To find the council... Yeah, the council hall, which is indeed the biggest building that you see on this southwestern side. Actually pretty close to the gate.
Okay, good. You don't have to walk that far.
Nice.
Alright. On entering into the wide courtyard with a wing of the building to the left and to the right of you, you see a stream of people coming in and out of this building, as well as a line that seems to extend all the way around one side of the building, wrapping around. And, every so often someone steps forward, walks inside, is only in for what seems like a minute or so, and then steps back out.
Out the other door, or just the one door?
Out the one door. It is a very wide door, and it seems that the line is sort of keeping to one side, hugging the side of the building.
I think Krellick's gonna turn back to Grin and be like, they make us wait in this line? What are open in this chest?
He just smiles broadly.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
You
Well,
may not want to do it here.
Of course not.
well, first let's see if they'll just take us first. So I think he'll just kind of bypass the line at first and see if he gets turned away.
You do the talking thing.
Are you sure with how he smells?
Ah,
That's
shite.
actually a good point.
Hey, Grin, why don't you do the talking thing?
Yeah, that's what he smells like.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's about right.
Oh, fine. He just walks up.
Alrighty. At the door, you do see a very, very bored-looking guard who is just kind of waving people in when he sees somebody from inside heading back out. But your appearance does catch his attention. You know, that very stark red skin against the cold out here in the snow, the sort of dirty grays and whites of the city. And he looks you up and down with very dark brown eyes, and at length says, "Can I help you?"
Yes. Would like to see if we can't bypass this line as we're on very important business.
You, citizen?
No.
Line's not for you.
Deliverer. He kind of taps the patch.
His eyes flick to it, and then he jerks his head to the other side of the wide door away from the line. You'll want to see the, mayor's secretary, I suppose. Depends. Who's that, package for?
Said money changers.
Ah! We had a couple of those in town. It have a mark or something on the box?
I don't know. Krellick,
Hi!
come here.
I'm gonna walk up with the box.
Does it have any markings?
This guy's kind of looking it over curiously. As far as I know, there's really only one office, but you're gonna be traveling to the north end of town for that.
Oh, good.
Oi.
Could you tell me, would there be a similar line on the north side of town?
Oh, no, that's only here at Town Hall.
It's unfortunate.
What's with the line?
Good question.
Gives you a very shrewd look, and I would like you to roll roll me a persuasion check.
This is his best thing.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Yes.
I'll have you know I have a +4.
Oh,
You have a +4 in persuasion?
Why?
Yeah, where did you get a persuasion?
so bizarre.
Oh, it was deception you sucked at. That's right.
Oh.
No, 19.
Yeah, hell yeah, 19. He's such a charming little robot.
Should call him Charmer.
Yep. Yeah, dreamer, more
But
like charmer.
Kind
Am I right?
of, he seems to hem and haw, swinging his head to either side, and then leans in. It's a lottery for residents. I don't think you would be interested.
A lottery.
Nope.
Yeah.
Where's this office for money
I'm
changers?
interested. I'd say I'm interested in what this what this lottery's for.
And he kind of gives you a flat look. You really don't. You really aren't.
It's a lottery. It's a well-known, the most legal of scams.
It seems a little too gloom and doom for me to think it's a good lottery, like for money.
He gives you a odd look there. I want you to give me a insight, Rian.
Okay. 20, dirty 20.
20. All right. He seems uncomfortable with your words and kind of shifts nervously before. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go back to my post.
Mm-hmm.
There anything else I can do for you?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Where's the office?
Oh. It's next to a blacksmithing business called the Black Iron Blades.
Good.
Also, do you know where we can find a guy named Ogden? And I believe it's a tavern, right? They said.
Yeah, he owns a drinking establishment across from the stables. You actually probably walked past it on your way.
Oh,
Of
good.
course we did. Well, I mean, we're probably going to have to anyways if we're going to dump this thing. It's a pain in the ass walking across town, but if we want to get rid of this box first.
You want to walk all the way north?
Tavini eventually pipes up and, I actually know where Black Iron Blades is.
Yes. Oh, that's something.
Is it far?
It's the middle of town.
Not too bad.
The north end of the middle of town.
Plan B is looking very good right about now.
Yeah.
The Inn Calvin's Comfort is a lot closer.
I think I'll turn back to this guy real fast and be like, what can you tell me about these money changers? They good folk, or, they type the money changers, take money from people and, kind of screw them over?
I mean, I've had to take a loan from him once or twice.
Okay. They the type that
Yeah.
break legs if you don't pay?
And he gives you a very flat look. In Bryn Shander?
Just putting it out there. I don't know Bryn Shander very well.
Kind of
probably
sucks.
just the
He
norm.
sucks on his teeth a little, and as the town guard, I am to tell you that the law-abiding citizens of Bryn Shander would not descend to such debauchery.
Mm-hmm. And not as a guard?
Yeah.
I'm on duty.
Of course.
Aye.
Well,
Enough said.
Krellik's just gonna kind of step back towards the people in line and ask that same question to someone in line.
Nice. that's brilliant. That's good. Yeah.
The person that you ask appears to be a very nervous elderly woman with a deeply lined face. Her gray hair pulled back into a bun, and you can see there's some black in it. It's far more gray than black. But at your question, she kind of chuckles and shakes her head.
No, I would not think them good people, no.
What's this lottery for? If you don't mind me asking.
It's
She kind of looks up and down the line, and at hearing your question, pretty much everyone within earshot has kind of all focused on you.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And she reaches out and pats your arm.
You're not local. You might as well just forget about it.
Will do.
Well, now I can't forget about it.
Sure you can. It's easy.
Aye.
Krellik's gonna pull out one gold piece and hand it to the old woman.
Oh, what is this for?
For your trouble.
She kind of tucks it into her coin purse on her hip, and then it looks up and down the line, and they're kind of glancing about to one another. There does seem to be some whispered conversation, but kind of settled back in after a minute or two.
Well, you folks have a
Alright.
good day.
Probably just ruined this poor woman's night. She's gonna get mugged now.
Yep. I was like singing that. I was like,
Let's go definitely deliver this package.
Let's go check in. Let's go check in at this inn first. You get my drift.
like, yeah.
He's like prodding you with his elbow. Huh?
Yeah. They're like, okay. Yeah, let's go check in at the end.
Alrighty. So as you head up to this inn here, Kelvin's Comfort, on entering, you see that the place is rather busy. The tables are not packed at this time of day, but they're on their way. Especially now that what faint light there is in the sky has started to descend into, true night blackness again. Amidst all the patrons and the hustle and bustle as people are kind of heading back and forth, ordering drinks at the bar, being served their food, you see a very, very tall for a dwarf, but otherwise a dwarf, standing behind the bar with a big, bushy red beard that he has divided into two and braided at either end. His eyes, bright green, are almost buried under bright red eyebrows. And he seems to be in a very deep conversation with one of the patrons who's kind of leaning over, having a heated conversation, not necessarily an argument, but you can almost tell that the barkeep is kind of disagreeing with him.
I mean, Felgren would approach. out of pure curiosity.
You hear the guy at the counter, with the drink, almost in the middle of his sentence, you gotta put your name in. If you avoid it, they're just gonna put your name in it for you, and those are the names that get pulled. And the dwarf at the other side is, I'm not gonna put my damn name in a damn box for this. And very hastily they notice that you're there.
He just kind of raises
help
his
you?
brows. Maybe. But out of curiosity, what are you talking about?
The guy at the bar sort of grabs his drink and scurries to join a table in the back, whereas this dwarf kind of tugs on one of his braided lengths of beard. The lottery.
Been hearing a lot about it.
Well, what's this lottery consist of? Everybody keeps to be pretty hush about wanting to explain what its ins and outs.
It's not for non-locals.
So we've been hearing.
I guarantee you this is not something you want to ask about out here.
He gives him a
I
wink.
would not ask any questions within this establishment.
Are there some shady characters just eyeballing us right now?
Make a perception check.
My gut says maybe. So
22.
perceptive,
Nice.
22? No one shady. I mean, to be fair,
Everyone's shady.
To be fair, it is Icewind Dale.
Uh,
This is the place for the world's rejects. They're outcasts, they're outlaws, people who do not get along in common society. Everyone here has this very rough and tumble manner, unless they're born here, and even then some of those people have picked up some of those traits from just, being surrounded by it all the time. So, while it certainly feels more dangerous than a common inn in the south, there isn't anyone that stands out to you as, oh, this guy's gonna gut me if I continue to ask questions. Just seems to be a general, overwhelming vibe of the place.
Interesting.
Well, may I ask your name?
Name's Ogden.
Good. Man I was looking for. What's the name of the person we need to deliver this to?
Ragamel the Renegade.
Ragamel the Renegade. Have you heard of him? Or her?
No.
He just kind of narrows his eyes.
Is this one of those don't ask the question in this establishment type thing again?
I don't know anyone by that name.
Oh, come on. This town is already tiring me.
Do we need to grease some palms?
I think I would kind of lean into Grin and be like, should we mention McCaff? Just to see if he knows who that is.
It's not about who he knows, it's about who he'll talk about.
My palms can't be greased when I don't know who you're speaking of. Ragamel, who's that? Roll me an insight check.
Can
I'm
we
getting-
all?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I definitely want in on this. 7. Somebody beat it.
I don't know, Dick.
Not Grin.
Oh no!
Horrible.
We are not in. Yep, 7, 1, and 10.
Krellick's there.
Uh,
Give it a...
Tavini.
Oh, boy.
1.
Oh, Krellick rolled a 1 too? God.
This is...
Okay,
This
roll
is
for
going
Tavini.
well. Yay!
Yes!
Yeah, Tavini rolled a
Thank
21.
God one of us isn't useless.
In spirit, she saves us.
So, all of you are, it's a little perplexing, like, this is the guy, right? And then Tavini, who kind of needs to, pull herself up on one of the bar stools to be at an eye level, kind of leans out across the bar top towards him. Sorry, but I believe you are lying.
Well, you heard the lady.
I think we'd be like, we don't mean him any harm. We're and point to the braided thing on our arms for the Luscar delivers. Like we're deliverers. We're here to drop off a package for him.
Roll me a persuasion check at advantage because you did call him out on his bluff. Barely, with fucking 2 failures.
17.
17. After
Ooh, the other one was a 1.
that would have been 3 1s in less than a minute.
Yep,
God,
I know.
I
It
love
was
this group.
ridiculous.
No, I hate
So
it.
after a good 30 seconds of him just kind of peering at you from the depths of those very bushy eyebrows. Right. Allow me to step away from the bar and I can introduce you.
Hey,
He kind of looks a bit quizzical. I don't know what he meant by that. Is he gonna lead us to him, or...?
He snaps his fingers for one of the bar staff to come over, and a sort of middle-aged man, brown hair, bit scruffy looking, comes and sort of takes his place, and Ragamel hops down from the stool he was standing on behind the bar, and comes around, sort of lifts the bar hinge, the door, whatever.
You meant Ogden. Okay, gotcha.
Ogden,
okay.
sorry.
I was confused for a second.
I was going to say,
my bad,
are
my
they
bad.
the same person?
No, it's fine.
Like, okay.
Ogden, with a quick whistle, kind of motions for you to follow him with the tilt of his head. He leads you upstairs to one of the inn's rooms down a long hallway of doors on either side. Giving it a very heavy-handed knock, leans in. There's some folk here with a package for you. You can hear, footsteps on the other side of the door, and it cracks open just a bit, and you see a very dark-skinned man, bald on top, with a cloak on with a white fur ruff, kind of leaning out. And he looks you all over. They don't look like they're from town. And Ogden kind of waves off his hand. No, they're deliverers. Oh. And Ragamel pulls open the door and motions you all inside.
Step in.
Has a very cautious air about him. And he shuts the door after thanking Ogden as soon as you're in. As you are given a better opportunity to look this man over, his clothes are rough spun, but clean, well made. He has a neatly trimmed beard that kind of clings close to his face, wears a necklace about his neck with a single tiny fang hanging from it that appears to be made of white gold. And as he is standing by the door, he snaps it shut, locking it, and folds his arms across his chest to look at all of you. I am Ragamel.
Mm-hmm.
You have a package for me?
This is from McCath, right?
Yes.
He'll pull out the box. From McCath the Crimson.
At that name, you see he's still very cautious, but the stern look splits into a wide grin. And he seems much more intrigued by these strangers that have sort of entered his very small, it's now cramped that all of you are in here, room. And he reaches out for this box, and if you'll remember, this thing has no sign of how it opens, how it closes. It is purely just a metal box. But as he kind of examines it and then reaches out to touch it, at his lightest touch, it springs open as if on a hinge. And he kind of laughs at that
DNA encoded.
That is a little unnerving. She must have, gotten a fingerprint or something.
She seemed thorough.
Yes, she would be the type. And he takes the box from you and puts it on a low table. And most of you, aside from Tavini, who's lower on the floor, can see that inside there appears to be a dragon skull, about the size of an adult cat's skull, made from white gold. The hollow eye sockets are sitting, and the entire thing sits in like a bed of purple velvet. And Ragamel kind of leans over, puzzling over it. That necklace around his neck, swinging on its chain. Looking at everyone's passive.
Say it's always Dreamer. If anybody's getting it, it's Dreamer.
Dreamer, yet again, you are the only person to notice that this skull appears to have perfectly defined gold teeth in its head. But more importantly, there appears to be a tooth missing. As Ragamel kind of appears to be staring at it intently.
I'm not saying shit.
This is why it's the worst that he has the passive perception.
Yeah, he never says anything.
I don't know shit about this package. I don't know anything.
Doesn't mean you can't be curious, Dreamer.
Don't give him shit.
I'm giving him shit. I like giving Lando shit.
Ragamel
It is
has
true.
a
It
tooth.
is our favorite pastime.
No, I love him.
I would say with your passive perception, you would judge the tooth to be of a proper size for the skull.
No, things that interest Dreamer are not the same things that interest Felgrin. So,
Yeah.
So Ragamel appears to be leaning over this and is plainly studying. You ever see something like this?
A skull?
He rolls his
They're
eyes.
not
I mean, it's made of gold.
They're not typically gold, yes.
Well,
What's this?
I don't. I mean, I know each dragon's got a different element if it's chromatic or metallic.
Doesn't usually
Like, are there bones?
usually transfer to the skeleton.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
At least as far as I know.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about
Me-
dragons,
well,
honestly.
What do you know?
To be honest, neither do I. What significance does this have, if you don't mind my asking?
I don't know. And his hand kind of touches at the necklace around his throat. Not as if he's associating them yet, but he seems to be turning that tooth between his forefinger and thumb as he thinks, plainly out of habit. Actually. And he kind of looks at the skull again and very carefully unloops that necklace from around his neck, pries the tooth free with a bit of effort, and with very thick fingers. You could see this man is very muscularly built. He has a very powerful frame, almost filling this room to the ceiling. Very delicately lifts the upper jaw of this skull and starts to slot that golden tooth in. Is anyone doing anything?
And say you're getting way too giddy explaining this.
No,
Oh,
no,
boy.
Felgrin is fascinated. He's far too fascinated to think
Yeah,
he's in
I was
danger.
gonna say it's same. Yeah, Rian's the same.
Oh god,
like
it's gonna
he's
blow up.
possibly, or there's a lot
I'm
of
just,
stuff that can happen
yeah,
in this
being
magical
honest, he has
world.
no reason to be suspicious of this guy.
As
Exactly, same thing.
As the tooth slots into the skull, it immediately blows up.
Yeah!
No.
Oh shit! I thought you were serious. I was like, oh fuck. Okay, roll dexterity save. Here we go. Like,
No, the skull begins to hum and vibrate in the box, starting to rattle against the sides.
Boy.
And suddenly it leaps into the air and is levitating at about eye level with you, Rian,
That's
and you, Felgrin.
Not normal.
I
What
take
did
one
you
step back.
do?
I mean, he's
Yeah,
leaning
I'm
back,
stepping
but
back too.
he's leaning back, but he's not moving.
yeah, I think Rian's actually leaning in, like a little bit, like just fascinated by it, just like, what is this?
There are two tiny pinpricks of white flame glowing in the skull's otherwise dark eye sockets. And after a moment, it opens, unhinges that lower jaw, and rasps out, "What's the big idea, fussing around with my chompers like that? I'll have you know I am a mighty and fearsome..." Oh boy. It's kind of looking down at the ground
Do you
now.
realize you don't have a body yet?
Yeah,
I'm just a floating skull now.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't you do it.
What? Don't do what? Now I want to do whatever you don't want me to do.
Yes, what don't you want him to do?
this
I
this is
booped
me
the
out of
snake. No,
character.
I'm kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say. No, I'm kidding.
His disembodied
like-
voice is that.
Yeah. What? Who are you? What's your name? What?
So Ragamel is kind of staring at this thing, plainly as confused as the rest of you are. But the skull almost seems to draw itself up, as if proudly preening despite just being a disembodied skull.
Seen that look before.
I am Kale Dernathira. You can call me Cal for short because you're surely going to mispronounce it.
Kildanathera.
I'm a mighty white dragon.
Oh.
I've been dead 2,000 years, if I recall correctly. Yes. I'd say it feels about right. Why have you awoken me?
No. He points to, yes.
The guy, like, right about.
That is the one you're looking for. We simply delivered your skull to him, and then he tampered with it. So, here you are.
And this tiny skull, which again, for being an ancient dragon, it is about the size of a house cat. You know, even Miri's skull is slightly bigger. But it rotates in the air to fixate on Ragamel, who kind of holds up his hands, and you could see him trying to stifle his laughter and failing. Seems very amused by this very feisty little spirit. I don't know what to do with this. I imagine that this came from the last time Makath and I encountered one another was a white dragon's lair, but certainly wasn't any motions to the creature or, hovering in the middle of the room.
It wasn't a floating skull?
It wasn't. No. I don't. We were after the dragon Oya Vigaton, not. What was your name again, Cal? Caladar Nathira. Yes. No, we were not after Cal.
Oh, man.
So, any idea why she would... I mean, obviously you had that gold tooth. She must have known you had that tooth. And she must have known that they went together if she had us deliver them to you. And it was only meant for you. This box didn't open for anybody else. Any reason why she might, send this fella here to you?
And he holds up a finger and seems to think for a moment, and then goes rooting around in the box. And as he lifts out the velvet, you do see a folded note that he cracks open and reads very briefly.
Dearest Ragamel, I thought that you would enjoy this addition to your collection. I know that you are interested in artifacts as I am, especially draconic ones, and I do hope that you find some amusement in this trinket. It is, if I am correct, very knowledgeable about Icewind Dale, though, having been dead 2,000 years, some of the information may be out of date. If the tooth that if you still have it, remember being about your neck, is still with you, remember, be careful, but insert it into the skull and perhaps we might see something from it. Please write back on your findings.
And did he read that out loud?
He read that out
Hear
loud.
that? A trinket.
I think I'd look to it and be like, so, you know a lot about Icewind Dale, eh?
I do. I ruled these lands.
Oh, that's quite impressive. Perhaps you might know then why there's perpetual darkness here right now, and a strange aurora manifesting itself every night. Ever heard anything like that over your 2,000 years?
Never experienced it myself.
Aye.
If it's anyone's to blame, I suppose there are any number of gods or spirits that would want eternal darkness here in the north.
Interesting. Okay.
I am ill-versed on any changes to the pantheon that might have come in my absence. Anyway, what's it to you?
Well, it's just perpetual darkness and aurora showing up every night, so...
As if that bothers me, I can see in the dark.
Yeah, so can I, but it's not normal, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, night is colder and, well,
Yes.
I am a white dragon.
Well, were.
That's true. Hey.
Just...
If I had my breath...
But you don't.
Good, don't poke at the thing.
Well, look at the
Please
high
don't
and
test
mighty.
Cal.
Please.
Ragamel is still just following your conversation, and now you can see his shoulders are shaking as he is trying to suppress his laughter.
I'm just saying I thought yours was bad. She's a cupcake compared to this thing.
Aye.
I don't know how you can manage to come off so imperious without a body. It's impressive.
Well, I had several hundreds of years of practice before my death.
How did you die?
That's a good question.
and it zooms in very quickly, very close to your face, Dreamer, to where those 2 white points of light are reflected back in your own eyes as the skull kind of just hovers in front of you.
Dreamer goes cross-eyed.
I will not reveal the secrets of dragonkind to you.
Oh, just a secret that you got to get.
No. Don't you know?
You made Felgrin laugh. That's an achievement. Excuse me, go on.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't.
I am not going to detail the ignoble details of my demise.
And Ragamel, after a moment,
Someone did you dirty.
if I may, she's got a bad temper, but who doesn't this far north?
Kind of what we're running into, yeah. We're starting to see that.
I, imagine McCath would want to hear of these findings, but really, she seems like the best person to tell of her own situation. Perhaps it would be best if she traveled with you through Icewind Dale until you got back to Luskin to bring her back.
Dear gods.
Well, what do you think about that, Cal?
If the dragon is not looking at me, Dreamer is shaking his head.
Kralik is also shaking his head.
The dragon skull has indeed turned back to Ragamel as he's saying all this, and there is no flesh on her face with which to glare, but there is very much that sense of haughty insult, as if, you were talking about her as if she's not in the room.
You know what? I think it is a great idea.
I would like to be part of this conversation. I don't know who any of you are.
I'm Dreamer. Hello.
This thing needs to come with us.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
I think like, after Rian Dreamer does his intro, I'll be like, well, I'm Rian Stormlight, gentlemen.
Felgrin, False Fae.
Kralik, Steelforge, I guess.
And I'm Ragamel. And Tavini pipes up from her lower position on the floor, and she has been staring at this thing wide-eyed, just fascinated with it, trying to almost work out all the intricate details of the goldsmithing that went into this skull.
So, what do you feel about that, Cal? I know you want to be part of the conversation, so you want to accompany us around? I mean, apparently, I think it's a good idea for you to come with us, and honestly, I don't know much about up here, so any information that you could give us would probably be fantastic. Still got some packages to deliver, so
Well, yes, so long
maybe you know more than we do.
as someone recognizes my importance.
Oh, there's a place in my pocket just for you.
And I have someone that maybe you can have a conversation with, teach a little bit about, dragonkind and all that.
It's a poor idea. Chromatic.
She kind of zips closer to your face now, Rian, and you can almost see yourself reflected in that very shiny white gold chrome dome of this tiny, hardly longer than your index finger skull.
And who is it I would be teaching, I don't suppose you are a dragon underneath that what you call skin.
No, it would be my daughter.
I told you
I don't
that's so
teach children.
creepy.
And you would be less creepy as a stone sitting in my stomach.
So you eat rocks?
No, I mean you're a dwarf and you would sit in there like a stone.
Oh.
I love that so much.
Well, so where's your stomach then?
Oh, come on now.
The skull continued, it seems to go back and forth between drawing itself up with indignation and just spewing foul-tempered vitriol at you, but obviously is too small to really do any harm to anyone, and seems very frustrated by that fact.
And I wasn't calling you creepy. I was saying it was creepy that he keeps calling her his daughter.
That one got a
So
fail.
it's that sort of relationship.
That one got a laugh too.
Oh, Jesus. No, we're not. We're not going down this road.
He
No.
does bring up a good point. It is a little weird.
Trust me, when you meet her, you'll see what I'm talking about. But in the meantime,
Where
would you like
is
to
she
travel with us?
right now?
I imagine because we're not far enough north, I did put her in the backpack. Just because I don't know Bryn Shander yet, and I don't know Bryn Shander at all. Because when I've been to the north before, I would have been to port towns that, you know, taking the rivers up and stuff like that. So I'd have her in the backpack.
Well, I shall be very interested to meet this person.
I would.
Oh, you can meet her right away, but just as soon as we go to where she is.
Can I inch over to Ragamel and ask him if that note has any way to turn Cal off?
Nice.
Pull the tooth out.
He looks the note
There you
over
go.
and even turns it over to check the back, and there's really nothing. But he looks towards the box and, well, that only opened for me. If it still works. And experimentally, he goes and he flips the lid shut. Why don't you give it a try?
Sure.
Try to open the box.
And he nods.
I'll touch the box.
Doesn't spring open as it did before.
How about I give it a try?
At your touch, it remains a closed box.
You know, honestly, I wouldn't mind the company on watch. I would look after this thing. If you all agree.
Excuse me, I am not a thing.
Her.
There it is.
Right? You are a her?
Yes.
I would look after her if you would all agree.
I honestly don't have a problem with it. I said she's a font of information. Can't hurt to have her along.
Can't turn away a valuable source of information, even if this one is particularly insufferable.
Just gonna say it.
Yes, he's not afraid of this thing.
See, I think it's funny that you guys are saying that because I think the proximity and like if this character is that like stays annoying like that, I think it makes it very easy for Rian to be like, look, this is what you don't want to become. So, like, you know, like so it's like this is the haughty, shitty version of you don't want to be. We're gonna keep you a little more human and keep you, you know.
This is your brain on drugs. Don't do drugs.
Exactly. Like, yeah, this is. So you're like, you end up dead, and you end up a floating skull that gets picked on by a dwarf. Do you really want that, Miri? No.
It's always down to the door.
Hey, like when you get teased by a dwarf, it's like you hit rock bottom. You only got up to go from there.
Well, that settles it, right? Unless there's any dispute, Krellick?
Oh, do what you want.
Dreamer?
Cow looks very expensive.
I
There are
should
many
be.
unsavory types.
Well,
Hey, metallic dragon looks expensive too. He says that really quietly.
even
too.
I
He's like,
wouldn't dare to try to sell it. Information is always more valuable. But, Rian is right. We already will draw attention. I don't think this will draw any more.
Cal,
Yes, Metal Man.
is it okay if you stay in one of our pockets or bags?
As it seems that I am in no position to defend myself, I acquiesce to the wisdom of keeping me concealed. But my magnificence shall be known in private.
Yes, of course. That's why we have to keep you hidden in my bag here, because people will surely be covetous and
As they should be.
want you all for themselves. So
Exactly. You are just too precious to not be kept.
he'll
under
open his
rocks.
satchel
Flattery
and
will get you everywhere. If I still had my body, I would keep you alive for such flattery.
Aw, isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And I got bored.
yes, very, very kind.
Oh, okay.
And he'll open his bag. He's like, "Well, in you go."
And she kind of zips in there and settles down into the bottom of your pack.
This is going to be fun. Wow.
You say so.
Yeah, you essentially got your own Miri now.
Yeah, just a way shittier one.
He's like, I have a dragon too now.
My daughter, Cal.
Oh,
Nice.
shite.
I was just afraid it's a flame skull.
Oh, well, maybe it is. We'll see. I can't turn it down. It's too good.
Yeah, the floating.
The floating,
skull,
snarky
like,
dragon skull. Yes.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, fantastic. Absolutely.
Pilgrim will grow to like this skull.
They do seem two peas in a pod.
In a way.
Like,
He
Yeah.
doesn't like the imperiousness so much, but he does like the sharp wit. But yes. Are you certain you want to part with this?
Ragamel has finally managed to stifle his laughter. And at your question, waves you off with a very broad hand. No, I think I have gotten as much as McCath intended out of this. I don't travel well with companions.
Okay. So you're assuming this was just for a lark?
Roll me an insight check.
Yeah.
I mean, mission complete.
Hey,
Mission
hit it.
successful, if that's the case.
Yeah. 18.
18. He looks hesitant to accept the company of Cal the White Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And after a moment says, no, surely this is something McCath wanted studied, and as it seems that I've fulfilled my part of this arrangement, I think Cal is best suited to return to Luskin in her hands.
Alright.
Shall I arrange something with Ogden for you to stay the night?
Oh, if you could, that would be great.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic, actually.
I don't often leave these rooms, so it's a bit of exercise to head down.
I was gonna say, you look pretty good shape for a shut-in.
Well, I often go straying out onto the ice, but when I'm in town, I don't like being bothered.
It's fair.
Aye. Makes sense.
Alright.
We can respect that. Do you travel to this area a lot? Between the 10 towns?
I stick to the roads, but yes.
I don't suppose you've heard the name Saoirse Stormlight, have you? She'd probably be at one of the port towns, if you had. Saoirse Stormlight.
What does she look like?
Red hair. Honestly, how it's cut could be different every time. Say she was always kind of on a whim as far as that goes. And can say she'd probably be in her late 40s. She'd be human.
Lots of red hair this far north.
Yeah, I know. It's not really narrowing it down. All I could say is that she'd cuss like a sailor and probably remind you of one too. And if you did, you'd see her by the ports. She'd most likely live by the ports and frequent the taverns.
The name is not familiar to me.
There's a long shot, but I'd give it a try.
I would think that... Let's see. You say she would frequent the taverns.
Aye, she's never far from a tavern.
There is the town of Good Mead, which brews most of what the taverns in 10 towns serve. If somebody were going to set themselves up in a drinker's paradise, it would be Good Mead.
Let's go there.
Well, that sounds
Okay,
pretty
that's,
good.
Yeah, I've actually been to Good Mead before. That's just south of us, right? Off the Red Waters.
Yes, that's, actually, they serve a drink here from there. It's, Flamebeard's Fire Brandy.
That sounds like a fun time.
Aye. That's one to keep in mind. Okay, well.
Oh, lottery. What do you know of it?
Oh, that's a good
Aye.
call. Thank you.
Good? Bad?
For strangers like yourselves, it's not a good thing, but it's not something you need to involve yourself with.
Yeah, everybody keeps telling us that. Unfortunately, it makes me want to get more involved every time.
We just want to know.
Think of it in a manner of scruples. Are they on the up and up?
If it were something that I could have stopped, I would have.
So, say one wins the lottery. What do they get?
Do they get kicked out?
They don't get to see the next morning.
Good. Good. Well, I think that tells us what we need to know.
Aye.
Thank you.
Every new moon, I mean, you've seen how twilight and darkness hangs on this place.
Aye. Is this like a sacrifice? Are they giving it to somebody?
Everyone assumes that the last few years are the responsibility of Oral the Frost Maiden, the
Or the Frost Maiden?
goddess of winter.
So have we heard of that?
Yes. I have it in my notes.
Yes.
No, I meant Felgren, would he know of it?
Yeah, is she like a well-known
Yeah.
god? Or is she like one of those
She
super
is-
obscure gods?
Not necessarily obscure, she is definitely one of the weaker gods. one of the sort of lower pantheons.
Sure.
Not well known as a goddess who does anyone any favors. Very much associated with the biting cold and darkness that comes with winter.
As a technically half Eladrin, would that offer me any more insight to the goddess of winter?
I'd say your time with the Fae courts,
Yes, mother specifically.
you would never have met Arl,
Hmm.
but you would know that there are certainly Fae that do associate with the winter time, and they are not pleasant.
Hmm.
They similarly prefer the cold, prefer the darkness, prefer not even to be cruel for amusement's sake, but cruel for cruelty's sake. There is almost the passion of a fine craftsman in bringing despair, the sort of despair that comes with a long winter when food runs low and warmth is at a premium.
Hmm. Interesting.
The new moon is her night, and I don't know that it makes a difference, but folk in town have convinced themselves otherwise.
Is that why you hide here?
And he wrinkles his brow and, no, I have my reasons.
So you're an out-of-towner, huh?
I think most would consider me an
Maybe.
most would consider me an out-of-towner for how little I am seen. A handful would probably ask me to submit my name, and I would, if I weren't doing more important work elsewhere. The roads are dangerous, since darkness's descent. Someone has to help keep them clear. So I can't travel with them. And he motions towards your bag, Felgrin. Loudmouth.
Well, we already had one of those before she arrived, so...
Yeah. You just finished the sentence.
Why are you
I
talking
think he
about
kind of gives
yourself?
a wink to Falcon. And just kind of like, I just...
Oh, he was talking about himself.
Very faintly, you hear a muffled protest from in your bag.
Oh.
Nice. Everybody thought it was them. That's pretty funny.
Well, not Tavine. She's
That's true.
better than us. Well, in Dreamer. Dreamer's not very loud. He's not a loudmouth. It's just us three.
And Ragamel is kind of standing there looking awkward now
Well,
from you all to the door.
yes.
I should go or make those arrangements.
Much appreciated.
And without another word, he stomps down, and with a brief exchange, a silver piece for each of you sets you up with rooms. All here on the sort of third story of the inn, where Ragamel also has his room. And as you kind of settle in, as night has very much descended outside, and again that ribbon of light is across the nighttime sky, what are y'all doing?
Definitely letting Miri out. And then introducing them to Cal.
Do
Cal
you
Miri.
approach Felgrin's room, then?
Yeah. Like, I think he would get Miri out of the pack at first and let her stretch her wings a little bit.
Hmm.
And then, like, I'm not sure if you overheard that. New little person that's going to be accompanying us, and it's seems to be a little floating skull. It's got the soul of an ancient white dragon in there.
Miri's eyes go wide as dinner plates in her head.
And like, well, you want to meet her? Her name's Kael Denethera. And but she goes by Cal, kind of like you go by Miri.
That lower jaw is just hanging open in amazement, and she's just nodding.
Yeah. Where is she?
She's with Grin. Let's head on over there then.
She goes scrambling to the door and, beats you there, and then just sits impatiently, bouncing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got the tippy taps?
Yep, there you go. Do the little dog tippy tap back and forth thing. Yeah, so I think he would he'd knock on the door.
Come in.
Grin.
Oh, is it time for the play date?
Where is she?
He'll just open his bag. Come on out.
I'm not coming out.
Why not?
You haven't asked politely
Oh.
for my company.
Don't be a baby. Fine. Will you please come out and meet Miri? Otherwise, she's just gonna dive in there if you don't.
It's true.
after a moment's pause, there is this very long-suffering sigh from the depths of your bag, and this skull comes floating out and floats right up to Miri, who kind of like scrambles back a few steps, to the point where they are now almost nose to nose, those brilliant white sparks gazing back at tiny Miri. Hello, dear. We're from opposite sides of the coin. Ah. Hi.
It's great. Just make Josie roll
Yep.
herself.
God damn you both.
Just eating my popcorn.
Yep, exactly. Just sit back. Now it's just it's a movie.
Well, I've given my introduction. Well, what is your full name, child? Speak up.
I'm,
Go ahead, Mary.
I'm Kapesk Mirik. I'm called Miri. Oh, and I am Cal.
Though, to you, I shall remain Caladerna Thera.
Right. You're really a dragon?
Logan's loving this.
Yeah.
Well, I know I don't have my body, but yes, child. Are you sure you're a dragon? You're rather small. Miri just looks indignant, and the two of them have this very long minute of silence where they just seem to be staring at one another, glaring.
Not as small as you, bitch. Oh.
Now.
That would be awesome if Droomer just randomly like dipped into voices like that. It's like, hello, friend. Oh no, you didn't, bitch.
He takes one knock to the head.
Yep.
Do try to be civil, Cal.
Well, I'm allowed to have my fun. Anyway, your father says that I'm supposed to teach you. And she kind of seems a little speechless and looks up at you, Rian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'd look to her and be like, well, I can teach you about being a good person and, teaching you right from wrong, but it's like I don't know much about dragons. So I figure...
Oh, she'll be in the best of claws.
Yeah. Well, I was saying, I think I would lean down into Miri really close and just be like, now, you can see that she's a little bit haughty. Just keep note of that and how people react to that, and who actually takes kindly to it and who respects it, and those that are put off by it and treat her with disrespect because of it.
And as you're saying that, the skull is nodding along and then adds, well, once you reach your full growth, you won't have to worry about being polite.
Remind me again, what happened to you?
I was killed by adventurers like you.
Aye. Oh. And it was just because you were really nice to everyone around you?
There'll be people trying to kill you too, dear. We need to make sure that doesn't happen.
That's a fair point.
Aye. And that's why we started training, Miri. There will be people out there, just like even the people tried to kill us, like the rat woman that came after us.
Had I my full growth, I would probably allow you to reach your young adult stage and promptly. Last time I had gold dragon.
Are you saying you'd eat my daughter?
Well, I certainly wouldn't use her to pick my teeth. She's not big enough.
Well, she's lusting after they're delicious, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I was going. I was like, yeah, so.
She nods in agreement with you, Felgrin.
Well, I mean, they are on opposite sides of the coin, as you say. You don't think they fight?
That is true. But the good news is I don't think we have to worry much about this one eating anything, really. I mean, I guess you could chew on
Except
a carrot.
the air in the room.
It is thick at the moment.
I suppose it's a good thing that you're not silver, otherwise I would get territorial.
That's good.
See, that's something I didn't know. Apparently, white dragons and sylvan dragons don't get along.
Well, we share the same territory. This one, and she kind of dips towards Miri. Being a bronze is off the coast, I would have no quarrel with her, aside from Bahamut.
Oh, yes, you don't like him, do you?
That's right. You're more of a Tiamat fella, aren't you? Or lady, sorry.
And proud.
Well,
Was there anything else, or may I return to my quarters?
No, I think that's enough for first
Quarters,
introductions.
I love it.
But you're moving around your like the
It's
stuff
probably
in your pack to
rearranging
make, like, a
shit in
little
there.
house.
Like,
Yeah, it's like you're gonna go to reach for something for a spell and it's not gonna be there because she shoved it to one side to be her couch.
So
where's my charcoal, Cal?
it was getting me dirty. I hate having to polish myself against the inside of your bag.
It's great. I love it so much.
Yeah.
All right.
How do you spell Cal's name?
You want me to spell it out loud, or you want me to type it?
Oh, you can type it. Either way is fine. Or say it out loud for the podcast.
Yeah.
Whatever. I just wanted to see if I wanted to translate it.
Kaledarnethira.
Nice.
Kaledarnethira. Zoe goes zipping back into your bag and disappears, and as soon as she is gone, Miri immediately, like, all tension drains from her body and her wings kind of slump to either side of her on the floor.
Okay. So,
She is, she's a lot.
she is a lot. You're absolutely right. She is a lot. But and say maybe she can teach you something. Probably a lot of things that I couldn't teach you.
If you say so.
Well, you're a lot too, just in a less irritating way. That's a compliment.
Oh, I was gonna say that was a compliment. That's very nice.
She kind of preens and looks pleased with herself at that.
Well, get out.
Come on, Mary. Let's go back to our
I think
room.
at this point, from Krellik's room, you just hear him yell, "Plan B!" And
Oh, good. Yes. He pops up.
Whack it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And whack the chest.
Oh, you just hear ka-chong.
Yeah.
So subtle. Plan B smash.
Oh shit, that's so good. So far, just from like 2 weeks away, it's just Plan B.
Good chunk.
Good chunk. And then just coins fucking go everywhere. Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah. I think you'll go running over there. Like, oh, what the hell?
inside the chest, I imagine you smashed it open with your hammer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, it took a bit of pounding, but when the lock finally broke, the box kind of went spilling off to the side and just scattered 100 gold coins across the floor.
Haha, jackpot.
That is
Nice.
nice to see.
Yep. That's good work there, Kralik.
Well, they said, the old lady said there were shit bags, so the way I see it,
That she did.
we'll put it to better use.
When you see a shitbag, you steal from a shitbag.
I'm not always about stealing, but, you know, as far as I'm concerned, there seems to be a lot going on in this town. And instead of making the rich richer, we could probably do a lot more with this coin. Hell, even just putting it in the hands of the shop owners. You know, buying things from them as opposed to just hand it over to moneylenders that are going to load it to somebody and then, you know, demand 10 times the amount back. It never helps.
Smartest thing you've ever said. He says as he's collecting his share.
Yeah, as I say, if there's one thing that we at least agree upon that, like, yeah, Rian's not all about theft, but as far as like authority and a guy that, you know, in
And
money lenders,
predatory authority.
especially.
You know,
Exactly.
I could guard that money.
Oh?
And I think he would that's Miri, right? Talking.
Yeah.
I think I'd just slowly turn my head towards her and be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's like puberty
Yes.
for dragons that want to hoard. Like,
Krellik's gonna hurry up, scoop up his cut, and
Just
Pocket
to be a bad influence, Felgren's gonna slide a coin across the floor to her.
She immediately sort of like grabs it with one of her claws, drags it under her, and sits on it so no one can get at it.
that's awesome. Yeah, I think Rian is gonna pick up his share. Which, how many people we got? We got 5
yep,
people. in
20
the group?
apiece.
So it's 20 apiece. So I think he'll
well,
take
19
the 20
for me.
and then he'll take, he'll take 10, and slide it to Miri.
11
Like,
coins.
you've earned it. Yeah.
She's rich.
Okay. You got more money than a lot of people probably in this town do.
She looks very pleased by the small pile in front of her, but then immediately also looks to the coin still in your hand, and then back to her pile.
Like, and that's what we're going to learn about sharing. And he takes it and puts it away.
And she's like, and then more?
Yep, there's what you get, and then there's greed, my dear. And we don't want to teach you about greed.
Oh, so I suppose
Or
I
teach you
shouldn't
about greed,
ask
but
about that necklace Felgrin has.
Oh my god. Were you going through my things?
No, I was there.
Oh. Well, you're
That's
very
true.
small.
It was
I
right there.
forget. No offense.
Small doesn't mean dumb.
I didn't say...
And she's kind of just looking at you
Well, it's in my...
through hooded eyes.
It's in my possession. It's going to remain there.
Don't worry, honey. We'll get you something. There'll be all types of things along the way that you can hold on to. When I start your own little hoard, I think. How much? Is that a good thing? Should I be?
Well, she's going to anyway. It's just she's a dragon. I don't think that's something you can teach them not to do.
I don't know. I mean, you know, it's like kids just want to take things. You teach them not to just
Maybe.
take things. Is that different? I mean, I know I guess it comes down to the nature versus nurture. Should we get into this right now?
I don't know. But I have a deal.
Let's say we could.
Miri,
Yes?
every time you say something that makes me laugh, I will give you 1 gold piece.
That's pretty good.
2 gold
You're not
pieces.
gonna get that deal anywhere.
Pardon?
2.
She's the keep it track.
Fine. 2, but it better be good.
We're gonna have to work on your timing.
She nods very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, good.
Yeah. Good.
Maybe I do have something to learn from her.
Perhaps this wasn't a good idea.
Well,
Instant
well,
regret.
that's your problem, Rian.
So, we are going to draw this session to a close, but before we do, there's something that you all have been bothering me for a long time. And it is not... No. It is not here.
Yay!
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Welcome to 3rd level.
Yes!
Finally!
Don't toy with my
Thank
emotions.
God. Gonna meta the shit out of some magic.
Atta boy. Oh, dude. I have magic
And we get
now.
to do that fun thing.
Phenomenal cosmic powers.
And a dragon that can fight now.
And I have a dragon that can fight. Holy shit
I
balls.
can see.
Oh my god.
I can fight.
I can
And
fight.
a
Oh, this is
spirit
so
that
perfect.
can maybe help teach a dragon how to fight like a dragon.